basically what we just saw a few minutes ago. This is me doing a test. I'm actually going to be putting a fireplace here, so I'm just getting ready for something for fireplace. What we saw in the videos we just saw a few minutes ago is, yeah, enough evidence for the conspiracy. It shows multiple videos of Solomon Wake 5, which we should have his name pretty soon. Because keep in mind, like I said, it's not hard to find people in the digital age. As in Danny Rogers, now that we have your name, yeah, it shows that basically, yes, we have several different incident reports on you of basically you slandering my company. But Jamie, that video right there, we already have a report on you that states that you're basically being, this is one of the charges that were basically charged against you. There was one here for copyright right there, as you can see. That was against a lawsuit. We have to bring all that information up. And let me explain something to you about the copyright lawsuit with the BBC, which you don't understand because you think because the case is closed and can't be reopened. The case can be reopened. The reason why you were brought to court, a process server, there was enough evidence to get a process server to come to your front door. That doesn't mean the case is closed. That means we ran out of time. That's where that comes in at. So I'll explain to you later on exactly what went on with that and the reason why he wasn't brought in for court. But the case can be reopened because you're still under the statute of limitations. And this time around, we know that next time we hire the process server, that we give ourselves a week's time. So that way we can get this wrapped up a little faster. But I'll explain to you why. All right. So right here, we have under the criminal charges, and these are real criminal charges. There's this incident report and everything that is with the Allentown Police Department, but now this is with the FBI because they have involved in cyber crimes. Right here we have, let me see, yeah, right here on social media, made false accusations against my company. Right there, this is what you're going to have to back up in court. And right here is where it says Jamie, who right here posted Kenneth Bird's address on the internet and was telling people to go down to his home. Bingo. Bingo. You're not going to get 1 year out of that. You're going to get 5 years out of that. Because they said if we have substantial evidence against you showing this. Now, we have pictures and stuff proving this, but a video is far worse. That's an automatic 5 years. You're not going home. I told you, when you come down here to Pennsylvania, you are not going home. It's actually in the report that we filed against you. This is one of the charges that you posted my address, inviting people to come down. What's in that video over there? And this video shows you're inviting people to come down to the apartment, explaining where my cat was sitting at, all kinds of stuff. Keep in mind, there's stalking charges involved in this too. So when you go to court, the judge is going to read the charges that the police officers put into your report are being filed against you. And one of them is basically posting our information on YouTube and inviting people to come down. And what do we have here? A video of you telling people to come down to the address.
All right, guys, if you want to see the best of the best screen paints in the market right now, visit 1521 West Union Street, apartment 102. Check it out. This is how it used to look. Now it looks like.
Now, keep in mind, Jamie, with the amount of hostile emails we received with racial slurs toward our company, death threats toward our company, you knowing this, you sent this down here for people to come down to bring bodily harm to me, my family members that could have been in front of the building, or people that were living in the building. This is why you're going to receive a 5-year prison sentence for this. We're going to hand that video I just made separately over to the judge when we're in court, letting them know. I will send you another certified letter to you explaining to you so you know everything's about to go on, because we have to do that. We have to keep you informed and let you know that, hey, look, this is what's going to happen, such and such and so, okay? So we're not pulling any surprises out in court. Everybody knows what's going on. Now, so you understand, you're going to be facing some serious jail time. Keep in mind, this document was just, and we just enrolled this document into the FBI website, which they already have criminal charges that were sent by the detective unit. All we had to do is go in and fill out the proper paperwork, put all the information in, and the case is now under investigation. You are now under investigation. This video right here, I'm going to contact somebody so we can send it over to them as actually additional evidence. You're going to have a warrant for your arrest very, very soon. Very, very soon. And a judge, she sees this right here involving with the evidence we already have already. You are done. Now, let me explain something to you about the copyright so you can understand this. The copyright case was closed. You know why it was closed? Because the timeline of where we went in and basically filed for all this information to get this done, we ran out of time. That's all that happened. Your case can be reopened. Copyrights, basically, you can go in, and statute of limitations on that are we have quite a lot of time for statute of limitations. So what happened was between all that paperwork, everything we had to process, we had to come back in and reprocess it. We had to come back and put it in a minute of claim put in. We had to do all this stuff. First time doing copyrights by myself, a claim. So there's a lot of information that had to be put in. So we got right down to the bare wire. Keep in mind, if a process server shows up at your front door, that means there is enough evidence to process for court. That's what that means. It's not a failure. It means there's enough time to process you for court. The problem was that we had to have that report in at 12 o'clock, and they couldn't figure out where your apartment was at. Between the time of them trying to figure out where the apartment is at and time diddling down between, we had to have these documents in at a certain time or the case would be dismissed. But the case can be reopened, so you know this. That's all. I already talked to somebody on it. It can be reopened. That's what was going on. So what happened was we ran out of time. That's it. But this time around, being a lot smarter and knowing the process server that can come to the building, because at then when they gave us the information, they didn't tell us that, hey, look, you got to get a process server. You have to pay for this separately. They made it sound like, well, we include the process server. So when I'm looking at these documents for like about a week or so, I'm like, what the frick are they talking about? Like, who the frick are we getting to send this over? And I'm looking at the document. We don't fill this out. They fill this out. In between the confusion, someone finally tells us over there, oh, you have to go to a third party to file the process server. We didn't know that. So that's why the time ran out, because we didn't have time. But the process server had enough time to serve you. He did. The problem was the information he was supposed to send back to us so we can put that information into their database to begin the case. That's the part where things fell apart. So knowing this already, we can go in and do it all over again. My information is already in there. All I have to do is go in, reopen the case, submit new information, which we do have new information on how you carried on afterwards, how you talked about how you could do whatever you wanted to do, and you're untouchable. Yeah, all that stuff we just found a few minutes ago, that's going in on the new case. So this time around, we know how to do it. We can get it done quick, get it done fast. We already went through the whole pace of doing it all. I have a process server already set up. We contacted them. They said anytime they need us, just let them know. We'll pay them ahead of time, and then they'll come down and serve you. But this time, you're going to be served for 2 of these. You're going to be served for the Black Series Edition, which we saw you in the video, with 3 individuals, which they're going to come up now in court, showing you guys committing conspiracies against my company. You guys went there and you talked a lot about your families in there. You talked a ton of information. Wouldn't you think that'd be the one video that you would not talk about your wife's hip replacement and all this other crazy stuff in there about your family when you have a copyrighted logo smeared across your thumbnail? Yeah, I don't think that would be a smart idea to do, Danny Rogers. We know who you are now. And since we know who you are, it's not hard to find you. Mind you, these cases involve the FBI because they're considered cyber crimes. That's why. And the FBI has something called a cyber task group where they specialize on tracking down people who commit crimes online, which means they can find you easily. Anywhere you come up on the internet, credit cards, debit cards, medical records, anything, they can track you. Aha! Yeah, gentlemen, you've gotten yourself in a great deal of trouble. So you will be in court. We'll have you in court, and we'll have your full name, all your information, everything we need to start prosecuting. Danny, you already know, not Danny, but Solid Wake 5, you already know you're in trouble. You forged our company's information, put it on a fake receipt, did a fake unboxing, and continue to slander our products by saying our products came out that dark. Even took your face next to the receipts. And you have a nerve to get in there and talk about me being a dirty person at the end of the day. Gentlemen, I was here before you guys ever existed. I was here. So if I was doing all this dirt at the end of the day, I think I would have been shut down by now. I think my PayPal accounts would have been shut down by now. I think I would have had the same complaints that you guys are saying right now. I'd have had that back then with no problem. So how is it that I'm running my company, my business, with all these people supporting my business, and all of a sudden when I pop into you guys, I'm this great scammer? So they're going to go back to my company's history. They're going to go back to how long I've knew you guys. When did all this first start? They're going to go back to that. And they're going to see that from all the people we've done business with down through time, even Screen Innovation, who basically sat there and said my product had potential. All that, they're going to go back to that. And they're going to figure out how in the world this person, as you painted him to be, this the notorious scammer at the end of the day, how come all this didn't occur when he first started? That would have been the first start of basically massive amounts of complaints. We don't have any complaints, hardly any complaints. They can go through my PayPal account, and I will pull it. I'll pull my PayPal account and show our complaints and show you how many complaints we get. And it's very, very rare that we get them. We can test any of our products in any courtroom showing our products are tested. Gentlemen, you cannot do this. Danny, you want to come under acting like Danny Rogers now. You want to talk like your products are legit. No, they're not legit. We got a video of Solid 5 who deleted the video off his channel, clearly doing a review in your product, and your product didn't even pull the color it was supposed to pull. None of alone this range gain. By the way, your website's under investigation for fraud because you have to back up the range gain that doesn't exist. And when we try to place orders to your website, what did you do? You canceled every single order and put the money back in my account. Jamie, we tried to buy your products. What happened? You canceled all orders once we couldn't get and put the money back in our account. And you have a nerve to make that statement that your products work, and we have a video of you actually matching house paint. Jamie, today we're contacting a very special unit. We went to State Attorney General's office. They gave us a number to a very special unit that investigates LLC fraud. You committed perjury on your LLC. You may claim at the end of the day that your company is legit, and it's not. That document you signed is a very sensitive and very special document, and it clearly states at the bottom, even the person who signed it from LegalZoom, that they are 100% sure that the information that you placed on that site was on that document was legit, and it isn't. So what they're requesting from us is any previous receipts proving that the website, the company that you stated, is older than what we claimed, and we have those receipts. We just printed them out yesterday. That's what that was for. Jamie's under investigation for a lot of stuff. And the fact that now that whole video you did about the whole post office, their detective unit, is a joke, I'll make sure that they get that video, because I shot a separate one just for that one. I'll make sure they get that so they can understand that this person takes your organization and the documents that we fired as a complete joke. They're going to make an example of you because they hate that kind of stuff at the end of the day. You make them look bad, you make them look like a joke. All the stuff you said about the CCB, about this, that, and the other, all that's going to be incorporated to the new lawsuit that's open. So let me show you something here so you can understand how things work in the real world. Statute of limitations on copyright infringements. 3 years, Jamie. 3 years I had to prosecute you from the initial date of the copyrights that I basically, when I filed. 3 years. You're still within those limitations. I can still file. The one thing I learned this time around when I filled out the forms is this time when we're going through, we had to go to some kind of there's some information they wanted. We had to get that and get this and get that. So I had to learn this thing as I was doing it. Now I know it by heart because I did it already. So all I have to do is go down to the CCB, drop in $160 for each one. They pull the document up. I go in and go through the whole document, get all that done. Fill that out, get the information, shoot up all the pictures, fill out the different forms. We've done it already, so now I know how to do this. And this time around, when everything's finished and done, and I get my little notice back for them saying that, okay, this is ready for trial, you have to get a process server. Now I know I just contact my buddy over here in California, the same when it came to your address, and say, hey, look, we got 2 of these. It only costs us $100 for each one. Here you go. And he goes and he just serves to your front door. Now, this time around, we'll have plenty of time because he'll send it back to us and says, look, we served it. This is the pictures. That's what the pictures are for. Give us the, just the number and all the information. We take that information, we go back to the website, and we file that right in there. And then they have it, and then we get ready for court. So when we go to court for the copyrights, I will show them the detailed messages, how you were bragging on YouTube on how you felt that you got over and you could do whatever you wanted to do. You can explain that to a judge. I cannot wait to see all this mouth and hot air you got when you're sitting before a judge on how much of an attitude you're going to have when you're sitting in that courtroom with all that evidence bearing against you. Let's see how far that gets. But that right there, oh, that is absolutely amazing. So you can go look up your criminal report. There's your incident number right there. You're actually, this is the narration basically talking about these are the charges that are put against you. See right there. There you are, buddy. Copyrights, yeah. The fact that we had to have a process server go to your front door, that's all that's needed. Your company's there right there. LLC, which we can show. We're going to bring up evidence that you committed perjury. After the lawsuit was filed, Jaime contacted Kenneth Bird on social media and made false accusations against Kenneth company. Here's my company right there. Jaime also posted Kenneth Bird's address on the internet right there and was telling people to go down to his home. Isn't that what we have in that video behind us? You're going to get 5 years, buddy. 5 years. That's the first start that you get in 5 years. We got 4 cases that are filed against you. 4 of them now. 4 cases filed against you. What the judge is going to see, your attitude and the way you've been carrying on and how you've been so bold with it, that you may get 5 years for each one. That's a 20-year jail sentence. And also, you have to consider the fact that your post office fraud charge, 2 of those that were filed against you, that's an additional 20 years for each one of those. The fraud that you committed on your website for perjury is 25 years if found guilty, which means you're going to have to go back and show that your company started on the initial filing date where you said that that's the age of your company. You're going to have to prove that. The only problem is they can go to your PayPal account and our receipts we have and show that you've been doing business longer than that. Yeah, you got yourself in a lot of trouble. A lot of trouble. And all the emails that you sent over just a few minutes ago, yesterday, after we told you, and I told you this guy is designed to self-destruct. These are the new emails. Mind you, any emails that come over, they go right over to the FBI. FBI does a trace on the emails automatically from the door. So that's going over too. Those new emails, those fresh emails, they're going over. Warned you about it. That's it, buddy. Your life is over. It's over. You're not going to see your son have kids and all that. That's over. You're not going to watch your wife grow old. That's over. Your life is over. That's what the part you have to understand. You're going to wake up every day in a 4x8. You're going to be showering with men. You're going to be with men all day long. That's where you're going to be at. And you know, the interesting thing about it is your charges are down here. That means you're going to be down here in Pennsylvania unless they decide to expedite you over to freaking California, which you're not going to do that because all the initial charges are here in Pennsylvania. So you'll be down here in Pennsylvania in a prison with family that got ties in prison. Oh, well. Good luck, buddy, because you're definitely going to need it. I can't believe we even found that thing. I looked at that. The guy was like, yo, we got something to send to you real quick. Sat there in a video and told people to come down to my address, to come down and see me. And that's one of the charges you have against you that you're going to have to fight in court. How are you going to fight that? It's your voice. It's your channel. Right there.
With these awesome screens. Look at that. Floor screen and this big screen. Oh, man, it looks so beautiful, man. And also, what it used to look like this, corner apartment, 102. And this is how it looks now. And that is where Taco usually sits, right there in that corner, right there. Yeah. So, this is another room right here. As you can,
Also, one of the charges that you're being filed against you is that you made claims to the property management that I was running a business from my residency. Interesting. All our documents point to that. So that's something you're going to have to prove in court. You're going to have to prove that basically that I was running my business there. That means I would have given you the right to go in and have people come visit me because I'm running my business there, which I wasn't. Yeah. You've gotten yourself in a pickle of some trouble, didn't you? This will be a little better right here. That's your address, right? California, we got you right there. Got your company, got your website, address, everything. It's right there. And that police report. And this is not a fake. Play with this at the end of the day and see what happens to you. You got cases filed on you now. This is not one. You got 4 of these. 4 of these are launched against you. 4 of them. About to be 5. I'm going back in the day to file another one on you. You better hope you get a good judge, man. Allentown judges are interesting. They can be real brutal. That's what I heard. They're brutal. They can be very, very brutal. Especially when there's enough time against you. You got enough evidence against you. They can be very brutal.
you can see, and it used to look like that. But hey, man, go visit them. Say what's up. All right, guys. If you want to see the best of the best screen paints in the market right now, visit 1521 West Union Street, apartment 102. Check it out.
Yep, that's all that's needed. So the 2 things in this particular charge that you're going to have to try to get around and try to beat, so you can understand this, is you're going to have to prove that we're running a company out of here. That's going to prove. None of our documents go to this place. We have the right to advertise while we're in here, but we're not running a company. There's no mixing machines. There's nothing like that. Nothing showing there's a company running that. There's nothing there. None of the LLCs, none of that is running through here at all, period. You, on the other hand, your LLC is running through an apartment. Jamie, here's the thing. I can go send this document right now to your landlord, and I can have your family out in the street. Easily. Very, very easily. I can contact the district, police district in your area and send down these documents to them. And they could contact your landlord. I can have you removed. But I decided not yet. And the reason why I decided not yet is because we need you there. So when the officers come and handcuff you, when they come pick you up, we need you to be there for everything that's coming at you. We also need an address for you to be at so you can come to court. So yeah, we need you to be there. Now you decided to get up and leave. Doesn't change anything at all. Case is still going to go through. You just have a bench warrant on you. That's what's going to happen. And then they have to start harassing your family members to try to figure out where the freak you're at so they can dig you up, which means you'll be on the hunt. But this right here, this is more than enough evidence. We have pictures and everything. That's beautiful. But the fact that hearing you say it out of your mouth, telling people to come down and see me at this residence is beautiful. You're going to get a 5-year jail sentence for this. $10,000 fine. And a 5-year jail sentence. And Jamie has now 5 of these charges that were placed against him. Okay, buddy. Well, I'll see you in Allentown real soon. And keep in mind, I showed you where the prison's at, right? That's where they'll be transferring you over there. So the minute you're in that courtroom, all that's read out to you. If you can't back up any of those claims by saying you didn't say that to begin with, which is virtually impossible, as you can see, there's a man going to come behind you. He's going to put these little metal cuffs on you, and they're going to cart you out. And they're going to take you over to that processing area. First, they're going to take you down to the police district. That's where you're going at first. And then when you leave from there, they're going to take you for processing, which means they're going to take you down to that jail I just showed you right down there. That's the building you're going to go to. And they're going to process you there. And that's where you're going to be at. You're not getting bail, so you know that, right? You're not getting bail. You got too many charges on you. That's why. That's why we mounted the charges on you, because to get your bail refused. You show a flight risk. We'll make that known. You definitely are a flight risk, and we don't want you basically getting bail. So you'll be down there in that area. That's where you'll be at. Family says hello. All right, gotta go.